Hey everybody, this is Sam here with Brendan,
Hey,
playing one of the greatest Nintendo games of all time.
the best.
Nintendo's 125th anniversary is coming up, 125 years of Nintendo. So we're just playing some of our favorite Nintendo games, and this is Metroid Prime from 2002. No Metroids between 1993.
It was a long
2002 and
drought
1994.
for Metroid players.
Yeah, there was rumors about a Metroid on Nintendo 64, but all we got was Samus and Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a Metroid game in production for a long time, and then Nintendo found this studio in Texas.
And there was these rumors. I remember hearing Nintendo working on a first-person Metroid Prime shooter, and everyone was like, "What? No, no." And then it happened, and everyone's like, "Yes, yes."
Yeah, it didn't preview well. Go
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that. And part of the reason was there was I remember seeing early pictures of this. IGN was covering it at the time. Retro had developed a third-person game, and they brought it to they were working with Kensuke Tanabe and Shigeru Miyamoto and a few other high-level producers at Nintendo, but they were co-working with them. So they were really they dropped all their other projects, started working on Metroid, and they would get feedback constantly. And one day Shigeru Miyamoto just gave them the feedback that he thought it'd be better in first person. And there was not a lot of precedent for first person Nintendo games at the time, but there was GoldenEye.
Yeah.
So his comparison was, what I've heard is that Jet Force Gemini didn't work out so well as a third-person shooter, and now we have all these third-person shooters that everybody loves. So it's kind of hard to imagine,
A time without
that they
them.
couldn't make it work.
Yeah.
But of course, what they did was something even better. They made it into a hybrid of both. They made it a third-person game when you're in a ball. Show them a ball. Yeah. It looks so
destroyed.
good still. It's so smooth to get into that transition. You solve puzzles that way. I don't think you're going to take on that giant
He was not
ice
dying.
bear, which I forget what they're called. 'Cause it's been so long, forgive me, even though this is one of my favorite universes ever. One thing you can do, though, is scan things in this game to find out their names.
Yeah, one
And
of
I've always loved
the.
that.
I don't know about you, Sam, but I am a sucker for
Me too.
awesome backstory and lore.
Yeah.
And the second I saw that you could scan almost everything this game had to offer,
Yeah.
I was like, "That's my mission." To
Yeah,
scan everything.
There's
and
lore
everything.
entries which translate this kind of subtle backstory of Samus growing up on the planet, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I love that.
You had the
And
Chose
then-
lore.
Yeah,
the-
and then
the
there's space pirate lore, which is just them kind of causing trouble for you. And you look at this vista. I mean, this is okay. We should say this is the Wii version
Yeah.
of this in the Metroid Prime trilogy, where they made it widescreen and they tuned it up a bit. But honestly, this is what this game looked like. It doesn't look much different aside from the widescreen, and it looks great. It's so smooth. Look how smooth it's running. I think it's at 60 frames, and yeah, it's just fantastic. But I digress.
I always loved reading the space pirate logs because they were just
Yeah.
we're going to reverse engineer the bounty hunter's technology. Okay, it didn't really work out so well.
Yep.
And we found this really radioactive goop. Let's start eating it and infusing people with it. Okay, it didn't work out too well either.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is that if you scan everything just right, and some enemies appear only for a certain period of time in the game, and then they go away. You can't find them anymore, like the ice bat section in one of these caves. If you have to scan them, and if you do scan everything, then you get a 100% ending. And the 100% ending shows a little bit about what happens in the next Metroid games, which is the appearance of Dark Samus.
They really
and the
spawned a
lore
great
that continues.
trilogy, this game.
Yeah. Why don't you head into the lava area if you can, because I want to play through two areas here.
Let's find where that is. Let's go to
So originally in this game, there was a little bit of controversy because you had to stop to shoot. You had to stop, hold the shoulder trigger, then shoot. That's what the Wii version that we're playing here really optimized and made a lot better.
Yeah.
There's not a better example of shooters working with Wii remote controls other than the Metroid Prime trilogy and Resident Evil 4. Those games, they proved that it could be done. Red Steel 2 was also really cool.
Yeah,
they proved
underrated.
it could be done. And it's just wonderful. So one of my favorite things about Metroid Prime is that you get glimpses of Samus. She's a character in a suit, and you can see these shots of her through her suit, and then also in reflection sometimes. And then if you get wet or there's a flash of light, you can see your eyes reflected in the
Yeah,
mask.
they overdid it
immersive.
in later, like Metroid Prime 3. Anytime you went to your visor, it would just show your eyes. Like you can't really see it here, but
But it fogs up in some scenes. I really like that.
Oh,
the
yeah.
fogging is great. And then, then at the end they actually show a Samus. They show Samus's face, and she looks really good, like kind of realistic. And I really think they screwed up by changing how she looks in the later games to be more like the Zero Suit blue Samus with like platinum blonde hair and stuff.
Yeah,
in
I
this
really
game.
like
It's
this interpretation of
second kind of
Samus.
series, yeah. So yeah, you just went from ice to fire, and there's a couple other really great environments in this game, just jungles and stuff, and everything's just overgrown and rusty, and it has that lived-in universe feel like Star Wars.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, a lot of games try, especially like first-person shooters, they try and make you feel like you're the one person traversing this expansive, exciting world, and not many games get that right. That sense of wonder and exploration and isolation right, and this game really hit home for me.
Yeah.
Being able to when you first land on the planet, and you're on an alien planet, you have no backup. It's just you and a bunch of hostile life forms.
Yeah.
And your scan visor.
Yeah, yeah. It's the ideal situation, and I think this was eventually that feeling of being alone and having kind of a in claustrophobic environments and taking risks by going further than you should from a save room. That's really lost in games like Metroid Prime Hunters and subsequent games where there's sometimes there's USMC Marines or whatever the equivalent is in this universe.
In later titles.
And and just goofy just kind of backstory with other bounty hunters and stuff. Like, I really think Metroid should be about just being alone and fighting a bunch of aliens on a planet. I just love that, and I really want to see another one. It's been
too long.
A gap, just like it was
Yeah.
before, since we've even heard about a Metroid in development. It's really sad. One thing I also like about this game, which we are kind of talking over, is the music. And two things. One, Phendrana Drift's music, which is the ice music we were in. I recommend you guys maybe search that.
If you
It's really
haven't
good.
listened to it yet, go listen to it. I had a friend who was playing this game, and I talked to him like, "Oh, how do you liking Metroid Prime?" Like, "Oh, it's okay."
Oh, yeah.
And then
Get the fog. I love that.
I was like, "Oh, you listening to the music?" And they're like, "What music?" "I don't have my music on." "Turn it on right now."
Yeah.
Like 2 minutes later, this is the best music I've ever heard in my life. It so encapsulates like the icy, chilly
Yeah.
feel, or in this in Magmor Caverns.
I love these guys. Get out of here. Get out of here with your stupid morph ball. And then this music, if you turn into a ball in this music and you time your jumps to the drum beat, the doon, 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 that is how you do your double jump. Your bomb jump,
Really?
sorry. Yeah.
I don't have it.
So it's 1, 1, 2.
1, 1, 2.
Almost.
Oh.
Anyway,
It's been a while
that's
since
how
I
you
got
do it.
back
If you
to
can hear the
bomb
music, we
jumping.
have the music turned down so low so we can hear each other.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how you do it. It's a neat little trick, and I always love that. I mean, I don't know if that was planned, but right down to the last detail. Man, we were
Release me!
getting destroyed by these little.
He's taking his
they're just going
time.
about their business. Yeah, that was funny. You can't even find which side he's gonna reject you on.
Oh yeah, back to the start.
You don't have to go that way. One other thing that I really like about this game is that they made bosses really hard in it. And if you
Yeah.
have a bunch of energy tanks and stuff, because of course your level may vary, right?
Oh yeah.
But,
And it was kind of like teaching you like, hey,
It blows
that
up.
scan visor just for show. You should use
Yeah.
that scan visor and figure out what their weaknesses is.
Oh, cool.
And then you like okay, like their jetpacks are if they fail at jetpacks, that's
Yeah, they
when
go for the
suicide
suicide
you.
strike. I love that.
Yeah. This guy's
And they're
just so
totally using
annoying.
missiles
Look, he
at
just
you,
blew up.
on you. I bet you're missing one of the missile tanks in here because there's two and they're really hard to find. One of them is you have to destroy one of those columns.
Oh, I remember
But there's
that.
another one. By
They
going
were
through the
pretty
floor a really
ingenious
long
about how
way.
they hid their
Yeah, you have to come back
collectibles.
way later in the game for that because you need the X-ray visor. Can you show people the map?
Yeah.
We have to sign off soon, but this looks really cool. I love this map. It's so versatile, and you can see, like, you'll be able to see the little edge of a room starting. Like, if there's a secret passage, you'll see the little tube leading off the room.
Oh yeah.
So you can see there's a little box on the side of one of these rooms, and that's probably where a secret is. So
I
cool.
love these maps.
Yeah.
And
And when the first time you use it, you get so confused, but then you become a map expert. It's just
Yeah.
like the best feeling ever.
And the whole like honeycomb way that they connected, like
Yep.
the way that these worlds connect back to each other, like these different areas, like you'd go in through here,
Yeah.
and you'd find that there was 1, 2, maybe 3 different like elevators to take you different places.
Mhm.
And I loved it never got old. You'd always find somewhere new to go.
Yeah. All right, so we should wrap this up, but I couldn't recommend a game more. It holds up so well. The Wii version is just as good as the GameCube version,
if
and a
you
little
can,
bit better.
get the trilogy.
It's probably easier to find. Well, no, sorry. The trilogy is much harder to find,
Yes.
but the GameCube version is easier to find because it sold like crazy. It was a success for the GameCube. And I recommend the other two also, but really start with this one and appreciate it for, at this point just a beautifully well-made game. It's all this, it's almost seamless, and you don't see that much. It's this and Ocarina of Time are just perfect games from their respective eras, and of course Super Metroid and Link to the Past from the previous era.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, for more celebrations of our favorite Nintendo games and the 125th anniversary of Nintendo, please keep checking back to IGN. Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you.